Hi, everyone. Happy Monday to you. I am super cozy right now, just cuddled up with my tea, waiting to chat with y'all. Because today we are going to be talking about thriving in the holiday season. So we talked last week. I guess it actually wasn't last week. I was gone last week. Beautiful family time with my fam jam. The week before, I was talking about doing some things that you can do in order to set yourself up for success over the holiday season, right? Because we're coming into this time where it's oh gosh, you're kind of just like surrounded, right? And it can be stressful this time of year if you let it. Some people have a love-hate relationship between, this time of year. I personally am a lover of it. I'm that guy that's, had the Christmas tree up since pretty much November 1st. And I will fight my husband on who's going to take it down, or when we're going to take it down. So, I'm a lover of, I love sparkle, right? So it's lights are up, and the kids are excited, and my personal love is to help adults and to remind myself constantly about the magic of this time of year, right? And again, you do you, whether Santa is a part of your house, whether Jesus is a part of your house, whatever that looks like for you, it doesn't really matter. But it's magic, right? And it's something bigger than ourselves, which is it's awesome energy to be a part of, right? So that's all I'm going to leave it with there. So I'm a huge fan of this time of year. But today specifically, I want to talk to you guys about using your oils and your essential oils, and really helping to let them work for you this time of year. So I want to talk about specifically, I love to cook with my oils this time of year. I also love to diffuse them, right? I was so thankful when I discovered a freaking diffuser. I was so excited because, I always love to have my house smelling nice and like Christmas, right? My mom always had that little crock pot of cinnamon sticks going when I was growing up. So I've always kind of kept that going. But I always wanted the smell of apple pie in my house, and, Christmas trees and cinnamon and all of those things, but I could never stand having candles. And this was when I wasn't even thinking about the chemicals that are in candles. Okay. I was just thinking, whatever's in them is giving me a headache. I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that my toxic load was through the roof when I was lighting them in my house, right? So, it's one of those things where you take plants, you put them in a bottle, you put them in a diffuser, and not only does it make your house smell amazing, but it totally is, cleansing the air and messing in a good way with your mood and doing all these awesome things. So I'm a huge fan of a diffuser. So we're going to talk about some different diffuser blends that will help you once and for all ditch the candles in your house. And I want to talk about, keeping yourself healthy because it's winter, folks. And I'm a huge advocate for obviously being proactive with your health. So let's get started because, I'm super happy that you're here. I love, 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 love supporting people in their health. I love emotional health and your physical health. Okay. So we're going to talk about that today. Just get comfortable, whatever time of day you're watching this, get a beverage and join me. And I first want to touch on, why specifically, obviously when I talk about using essential oils, I talk about using doTERRA essential oils. There's a plethora of reasons on why I've specifically chosen to partner with this company. And the big ones are the quality of their plants, right? And I've talked in past posts about co-impact sourcing, and the what co-impact sourcing ultimately means is that they source their oils from where the plant originates and all over the world. So they're doing things in these communities as well. So giving them the training and the tools and the resources necessary in order to create a sustainable relationship between them and doTERRA, but also, plants that have been harvested for years because there wasn't a lot of education around it, right? It was, generation after generation. But some of the plants were actually being over harvested, which obviously isn't sustainable as well. So just a lot of education with the growers. And doTERRA also coordinates, they have a charity called Healing Hands. And, 60% of these places where we're getting our essential oils from are underdeveloped countries. So the Healing Hands Foundation actually, goes in and makes sure that they have things like water and food and education and healthcare and all of these awesome things that we take for granted in North America. But, while making sure that these farmers are set up with education and with what they need to survive, so that they can focus on quality versus where's my next meal coming from? Or how do I take care of my kids? Okay, which is amazing. Gives me goosebumps just even thinking about it. But the main goal is quality over quantity, right? And doTERRA specifically is just so committed to making sure that the essential oils that they are putting in these bottles are pure, right? So again, sourcing the plant from where the plant originates, making sure that it's in the proper region, climate, the plants are grown in the right season, soil, so that when you're yielding an awesome plant, you're then going to yield a great quality essential oil. And so for them to be deemed certified pure therapeutic grade, doTERRA is the only essential oil company that has certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils. And this means that they're pure and natural. Just their aromatic compounds are that's all that's in the bottle. Okay. They're free of fillers, artificial ingredients. There's zero dilution. Okay. And this time of year, we talk a lot about frankincense, for example. So frankincense is a really good example of one that, there's a reason this was a gift to Jesus, right? It's an unbelievable plant. But when you look at the price sheet, you're going, gosh, that's an expensive oil. You can get it for free this month though. Did you know that? I have we'll have another talk another time about that one. But frankincense is a crazy awesome plant. I personally take it every single day. It's, when you see it in the store and it is the same price as a lavender or a lemon, right? Essential oils that, it doesn't take, there's a ton of essential oils in a lemon. A lemon isn't a rare plant, right? So a lemon is $10. It's not expensive, right? Frankincense, on the other hand, really rare plant, really hard to extract the essential oils from the plant. And it doesn't yield a lot of essential oil. It's a very rare, right? So the price point matches it, right? However, do not let that fool you. And I tell people all the time, when you get set up with your essential oils, don't take that frankincense and put it in the china cabinet somewhere and, don't look at it, right? It's like how I remember, you think of our parents and grandparents that just have all this awesome dishware that they just never use, right? Super proud of my mom, by the way. She's starting to crack into hers, which is fantastic. But frankincense is one of those ones that people are like, oh, I don't want to do it. It's like liquid gold. But it's potent. You need a little bit of it. And, don't be scared away by the price point on it, because when you're dealing with pure essential oil, the qualities of that oil are amazing and they will do awesome things for your body. So, but purity matters. Okay. So, specifically, that's what doTERRA is committed to. And there's so much information on so many different oils and so many uses for them. I just want to give you a quick kind of, summary on different ways that you can use them, okay? Because when you're using the essential oil of the plant, you have to understand this is the most concentrated way to use the plant. It's 50 to 70 times more concentrated than using it in any other form. So I talked about my mom having a crock pot of cinnamon sticks going for smell, right? To get the smell that I get from one drop of the essential oil from cinnamon, you would need, say 10 sticks in that crock pot to one drop, right? Peppermint oil. If I want the therapeutic benefits of peppermint, I could have one drop of peppermint oil in my tea or in just a hot cup of water to 28 cups of the peppermint leaf in a tea. Okay, so you can see that it is no one wants to drink 28 cups of peppermint tea, right? I'd rather just have one drop of the essential oil. So the essential oils are coming from the roots, the leaves, the flowers, the stem, the bark of these plants, and but the results are unbelievable when they're used properly. And so using them, there's 3 different ways. Topically is the most common, I guess. And typically you're going to put the essential oil where your ailment is. If I have an upset stomach, I'm going to put it on my stomach. If I have a headache, I'm going to take that peppermint, put it across my forehead, maybe my temples, maybe the back of my neck. But knowing that they are, regardless of where you're putting it, even if you're putting it on the bottom of your feet, it's entering your bloodstream within 20 seconds, okay? It's getting into your brain and having an impact there on, working with your limbic system, Science 101, right? Within 15 seconds. It's unbelievable. So it will go systemic within your body within 20 minutes, okay? So even if I put it on the bottom of my foot for pink eye, it is going to get to my eyeballs within 20 seconds. Okay, you don't want to put them in your eyes, in your ears, anywhere where your mucous membranes are. You want to avoid that. So topically, aromatically, so we talked about using in a diffuser, right? So it's quickly absorbed through our cell receptors. So you actually have olfactory sensors on all of your cells, and we have a few cells in our body, right? And so when they enter your bloodstream, through your nose, again, it's going up into your brain, working with your limbic system within 15 seconds. And then internally is the third way to take them. So I've talked about, putting peppermint in with your tea, I have cinnamon in my tea right now. But again, doTERRA is the only brand that I would trust to take my essential oils internally because they are just free from contaminants. But rule of thumb is if you can eat the plant, you could eat the essential oil. You're just going to use much less of it, right? Because it's so concentrated. So if I can walk through my garden, and not right now, my peppermint leaves are dead. But if I can take that peppermint leaf, shove it in my mouth, chew it up, break all those little pockets that are holding the essential oils in my mouth and swallow it, then I can consume the oil, right? But again, you want to make sure that you're using a brand that doesn't have, just tons of fillers in it to make it stretch. Right? So the key is quality, right? So we've talked about what is an essential oil, how to use them, why specifically I've chosen doTERRA. So let's get into the goods, okay? Let's really focus in on thriving. And, I kind of hinted at the fact that I would talk about some diffuser blends because I'm in love with diffuser blends this time of year. So get your pen and paper out because these are some goodies. First one I love, and we've aptly named it Candy Cane Forest in our home. And what it is it's 3 drops of Holiday Joy, which is the oil of the month this month. And if you haven't got that yet, you can still get all of the holiday items this month if they haven't sold out. There's quite a few that sold out immediately, but there's still like Holiday Joy is still available. Holiday Peace is still available as well. So I'm going to either mention that blend or oils that are in that blend. So 3 drops of Holiday Joy, 2 drops of wintergreen, and 2 drops of peppermint. And it Smells unbelievable. It smells like you're in a candy cane forest. If you are looking for just that cozy Christmas smell, do 2 drops of wild orange, 2 drops of cinnamon, 1 drop of arbor vitae, and 1 drop of clove. So good. And if you are looking for kind of your long winter sleep, do 1 drop of cassia, 2 drops of cedarwood, and 2 drops of wild orange. If you would, this time of year, and I mean, this really goes for the next 4 months if you were living in Canada, where it is, it's just darker, and it's I guess lots of other parts of the world are darker right now. I was just talking to my friend that lives in Scotland this morning, and it's pretty gloomy over there as well. But we need to make an effort at bringing sunshine into our lives, right? So consuming extra vitamin D and just really bringing those citrus oils into our life. And the beautiful part about this time of year, though, is because, we're wearing layers, we can actually put the citrus oils on our skin topically and not have to worry about us attracting the sun so much, right? So I legit have citrus oils in my lotion because I'm not sitting out in the sun, right? So if you are needing to say bye-bye to the winter blues, do 3 drops of Citrus Bliss, which is basically the blend that has all of your citrus oils thrown into 1 bottle. It's gorgeous. 2 drops of juniper berry and 2 drops of frankincense. Unbelievable. Frankincense is really awesome for your cellular health, but really great for uplifting your mood as well. And if you are looking for that spiced apple cider kind of smell in your house, 3 drops of wild orange, 2 drops of cinnamon, and 2 drops of ginger as well. And, I like to I'm going to keep going because I wanted to make sure that I tell you some of my favorites. If I don't mention some of your favorites, please post them as well. But one that I love when I just want that kind of warm and cozy, 2 drops of cinnamon, 2 drops of wild orange, 2 drops of clove, and 1 drop of like a nutmeg. Gives you that nutmeg smell. So good. If you like, I was at, where was I at? And it had kind of like this, when you walk outside and it's like kind of fresh snow, but you're in like a forest, if that ever happens to you, do Siberian fir, cardamom, and clove. It smells so delicious. And it's like you're in a forest of trees, but with like fresh snow. It's very crisp. It's the cardamom in it. Candy canes. Who doesn't love candy canes? 4 drops of peppermint, 3 drops of bergamot. So good. I love those 2 in a cup of tea as well, bergamot and peppermint. Also delicious. I'm pretty much putting peppermint in everything this year. So even if you're trying to, say you're making like Christmas plates or something, I always hand them out. If you're one of my neighbors and you're watching, your Christmas plate is coming. And if I'm like making, black bean brownies, typically I don't always put peppermint in them, but this time of year I'm putting peppermint in it, right? But you only need like a couple drops, right, for an entire batch. Or if I'm making, apple tarts, I'm going to put a drop of cinnamon in it or a drop of ginger, right? So my treats are definitely oil infused. If you were looking for the smell of gingerbread in your house, okay, such an awesome smell. And I'm going to give you guys an awesome recipe after too for my whole mouth just filled up with saliva for the actual gingerbread cookies. But if you're wanting it to smell without the work of making gingerbread, do 3 drops of ginger, 2 drops of cinnamon, 2 drops of clove. It's amazing. It smells so, so good. It's one of my kids' favorite ones. And then another just really warm blend, 2 drops of Douglas fir, 2 drops of cassia, 2 drops of wild orange, and 1 drop of clove. Put those into your diffuser, play around with it, and just really see, which ones work for you. My face actually hurts from smiling so much already during this Facebook Live. Just talking about those diffuser blends, I get all excited. So, and another really good, if you're thinking like gift ideas, right? Hooking people up with, it's one thing to say, oh, I'm going to hook somebody up with, an essential oil or a diffuser or, some shampoo and conditioner, some toothpaste, or just kind of, letting your family in on your dirty little secrets, right? Of, these things are game changing. They've, completely changed the way that we look at our health and the way that we live our lives, like in our household, right? So I love giving people the gift of health, right? Especially when they're kind of skeptics. I love skeptics in my life. They're still getting oils, just so you know. It's gonna happen. Before I move on to this, before I move on to gifts, I wanna make sure. So Tara, On Guard Wild Orange and Cashin diffuser or hand soap smells really good. You're right, Tara. It smells delicious. I love those. Even try adding like On Guard's pretty much in everything this time of year, right? But even I always I've in my hand soaps right now are On Guard and like the Holiday Joy blend is so good, right? I love when doTERRA comes out with the blends just because it versus like, putting 10 different oils in your soap or whatever, you just take one blend and you're good to go. So awesome. Thanks for that. Let's talk about gift giving. Okay. So, it can be very overwhelming when you're trying to do gifts. But you can actually do just really fun things. And especially, I love to get my kids involved, right? So even doing, when the kids are with wrapping paper, right? I found wrapping paper that it's basically just brown paper. My kids like color all over it. Doesn't look as pretty, but it's like 20 minutes of excitement for them, right? And when they give, they'll draw pictures like they did it for my niece's birthday party or birthday present last week, and they catered that paper specifically towards her, right? And that's the kind of idea of what I love. Just simple things that you can do this time of year is just and it doesn't have to be expensive too, right? So let's talk about some DIY gifts, right? That you can do. If I could DIY my own paper, I would. But I can't. I had to buy that. But it gives you, the idea is that it gives you the concept of giving the gift of health while also customizing things to different people depending on what that they need, right? Because so many people in your family, they don't know what they don't know when it comes to using natural things to support their health, right? And it's okay that they're a skeptic, right? Likely the way they'll look at it is, it was free for them, and they don't realize how healthy and how good they're going to feel after using their homemade bath bomb or body scrub or whatever, right? Versus you going to Bath and Body Works and giving them some fragrance filled chemical that's not going to support their body, right? So, essential oils can just be a really major tool in your DIY closet for just a number of things that you can give people. So, help people up-level their health. And one thing that I love is even just like homemade ornaments, right? So, and I totally remember making these as a kid, but mine didn't have oils in them, right? So where you take so an awesome ingredient to do like the salt dough ornaments that you then hook on your tree. I think my mom still has the snowman ones that I made. Make sure you comment, Mom, if you still do. I'm pretty sure you do have the little ones that my sister and I made when we were kids. But if you do 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of salt, and 1.5 cups of warm water, and then add in your favorite oils. I recommend like peppermint, frankincense, eucalyptus, cinnamon, clove, wild orange, like those Christmassy smells, right? Add in your favorite oils. And then if you preheat your oven to 325, and then, using your hands and let your kids get in there too, right? And just knead the flour, the salt, the warm water, knead it in a bowl. Um, you know, Tip is, add an extra maybe a tablespoon of water at a time to the mixture so that it doesn't get too dry, right? But get the dough the right consistency, roll it out, get out your cookie cutters. I mean, they have super cute cookie cutters even at the dollar store right now, right? um, I'm all about the cookie cutters because I can like make any meal even exciting, right? I can make a sandwich exciting, I can make pancakes exciting, when they're in different shapes. What mom is with me right now, or grandma? You guys know it, right? But roll it out, cut it with, lay it out on a cookie sheet with some parchment paper, and uh, use your cookie cutters, right? And then make a little hole at the top. Either I usually use like a straw, right? Just kind of dip the straw in, because you're going to string it through, right? You're going to string an ornament string through after. And then, put it in the oven for like an hour until it's really hard, or you can just let it sit out for like 2 to 3 days. But then once it's hard and cool, decorate it, right? So, use paint and string and glitter and ink stamps and markers or whatever, right? And just let your kids just like go to town on these, right? And then what an awesome thing to add on to, the front of somebody's gift, right? So, people can have the aromatherapy benefits of just hanging on their tree, right? And those freaking things last for years. I'm telling you, my mom still has 35-year-old ones just hanging on her tree. And another cool thing to do, for ornaments is getting like a hollow ornament, right? Again, saw them at the dollar store. They're round and hollow and plastic. And if you do 1 cup of Epsom salts, you can use like skin safe food coloring or like dried herbs and flowers, optional. But again, Epsom salts and 5 to 10 drops of your favorite oils. And they can either hang them on the tree. You could paint the ornament as well, because the ones that I saw were just clear. I'm sure you can find them at Michael's as well. But just in a bowl, mix the Epsom salts and whatever else you're gonna put in it with your oils, and fill the ornament, right? Such a cool, way to hook people up. So another recipe that I love, and I tend to give this one out regardless of what season it is a sugar scrub, right? Exfoliating our skin is so good, for our systems. And so the sugar scrub that I specifically use during the winter season, I always make sure, that I add in, so it's about 3/4 cup of white sugar or sea salt, depending on what you want to use, a 1/2 cup of fractionated coconut oil, or you can use almond or grapeseed oil, and then about 12 drops of peppermint. It's so good. It's so good. I used it on my face this morning because my nose was peeling a bit, after being out last week. So, just combine it all in a bowl, and then you can get little mason jars. Again, dollar store, BFF. Get little mason jars and Christmas ribbon, and you can completely, make a sugar scrub look so pretty, right? And you're going to pay 1/10 of the cost, of compared to what you would buy in the store, right? And it's actually real food that you're using, right? So that's always a nice one. And with just the cold weather coming, again, your family doesn't know what they don't know, and I think even the men in our lives that don't mind that they get the dry hands or elbows or whatever, will appreciate that one. So keep that one in your back pocket. Another one that I love is a neck wrap, and you can get really fancy with it if you know how to use a sewing machine, and use, fabric or kitchen towels or whatever. But basically, you're just going to get 6 cups of whole flaxseed or rice, and then add your oils to it and either make your own stocking, or if you don't know how to use a sewing machine like myself, use a sock. I know. Grab your husband's old sock. Maybe not an old sock. Maybe go to the store and splurge on anyone. Probably get those at the dollar store too. And add in 3 cups of flaxseed or rice and your oils. And again, you can hot or cold, and it works, right? I love to add even like oils like clary sage to mine. I like to get my hormones in check whenever I can. You can even do things like making your own, that sucker. There's a sucker recipe where I saw DIY suckers, and ultimately I'll post it, but I'm pretty sure it was 1 cup of sugar, a third a cup of honey, about 2 tablespoons of water, and then it had about 5 drops of lemon essential oil in it. Mix it all together. And then if you have sucker molds with sticks, and then you can just, stir it all up in a saucepan until the sugar dissolves, and then pour it into the molds, stick the sticks in there, and then put it into, you can let it just sit out, or put it into the fridge for about 30 minutes. And there you go, little DIY suckers. I'm always just like looking for things to do with my kids on the on the weekends, and that's a good one. Maybe not in our household, but it can be good in your household too. But using your oils for cooking it can really just help you to up level your dishes as well, right? And I still use the dried herbs every once in a while, but there's some things that I've read about, again, just like companies try to stretch out their essential oils and add in carrier oils and stuff like that to make it go further for the same price. They're doing it with the herbs too, right? So a lot of what you're getting in when you buy herbs is actually not what's in there. So, there's some really good, this is where, again, I just like to use my oils as much as possible. And I'm going to post a blog post right now on just some different recipes that you can use. It's just a really good blog post on oil recipes for the winter, just common things that you're going to use. And in it, and I promised I would mention this, is the gingerbread cookies, right? Gingerbread cookies are just, one of those things that just add to the season, right? This recipe in particular is gluten-free, sugar-free, vegan, and delicious. It's so good. So your kids won't know the difference, and I promise. So in it, 1 1/3 cup of buckwheat flour, 2/3 cups of tapioca flour, 1 tablespoon of chia seed meal, 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal, 1/3 of a cup of coconut palm sugar. Again, all the stuff you can get at Mockburn. 1 tablespoon or 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and then 2 drops of cinnamon, 2 drops of ginger, 2 drops of clove, and then 1/2 cup of coconut oil, 1/4 cup of unsweetened applesauce, 3 tablespoons of water, 3 tablespoons of molasses, 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and then about 45 drops of liquid stevia. So I'm a huge fan of cooking with stevia, just with our daughter having type 1 diabetes. I think just even with our daughter that doesn't have diabetes, paying attention to their sugar intake, right? My one daughter that doesn't have diabetes, oh man, I think it's probably just because she's not used to, by default, we don't have a lot of sugar things in our house. When she does have sugar, she is that that student that if you are her teacher, you do not want to feed her because her attention span is just like with any kid, right? Sugar's not great for us. And it just like she fluctuates all over the place. So, and she certainly doesn't act like herself. So I love you. I'm a huge fan of using stevia. I digress. So if you preheat your oven to 350 degrees, combine all the ingredients, and then use your essential oils, like put them in at the end. And then just put, you're gonna roll it out, and then again take your cookie cutters and cut out whatever shapes you want. Place them on a cookie sheet and bake them for about 15 minutes. Or until you see they're done. Maybe that's 10 to 15 minutes, and then just remove and let them cool. That's easy, right? I love those recipes where you just like throw everything into a bowl and then roll it out. I align with those ones. Another one that is super easy but is a huge hit, peppermint cheesecake dip. My whole mouth just filled up with saliva. If you do like an 8-ounce package of cream cheese, about a half a cup of icing sugar, powdered sugar, 5 drops of peppermint oil, of like 1 container of Cool Whip, super healthy, and then 1 cup of crushed peppermint, and then just use those like chocolate crackers. Oh my gosh, that recipe is so delicious. But just again, smooth out the cream cheese, mix it all together, and it's really, 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 really good. And again, if you are baking, right? So I know in the fall, I went and bought like a ton of apples, and I pre-cut them all up and just bagged them, right? So now when I'm going somewhere, I just have to, I can throw an apple pie together and like legit faster than I can go to the store. But if you get like 5 cups of apples, and some of them I froze in bags with this pre-mixed sauce. So the sauce is a 1/4 cup sugar, a pinch of nutmeg, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 6 drops of lemon essential oil, and then a half a cup of flour, and half of the apples I already mixed together with that. But then you just throw them in a crust, and you're golden, right? Versus like pre-making the pies just for, I find just storage, it's a lot easier. But again, mix it all together, throw it in the pie crust, and then bake the pie. But use your oils, right? Get that cinnamon in there. Even I've added some with like ginger, not just lemon. And then obviously with like soup season, use those, your cardamoms, your black pepper, your oregano, your rosemary. Get those into your soups, and it just completely changes the way that the flavor of your soups. And even I find if I make one soup and then because I tend to make everything in super bulk, like I'm feeding 100 people, when I'll keep out enough for say a few days, and then I'll freeze the rest, and then when I unfreeze it, I'll add some oils to it, just to even change the flavor, so it's like a completely different soup. But I didn't have to do anything, right? Who's with me? It's things that you can do to sneak in the goods, to make it super easy on yourself, right? And to help keep everybody healthy, right? So I'm a huge advocate for soups because, you can get in your veggies, even if you're like puree your soups, right? I put so much different stuff in my squash soup. And my kids eat vegetables, but it's a sneaky way to get in all the goods, right? It's like smoothies, right? You could sneak anything in. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to create as much as possible a happy, healthy home. Okay. So let's get on to cleaning. Okay. We've talked about nutrition, and maybe even some not so nutritious stuff, but like deliciousness, right? let's talk about things that you can clean with, right? So I'm a huge advocate for reducing your toxic load, period, right? So that means, not just the things that we're putting on our skin, but we know that things like washing your hands is the number one way to stop the spread of infection, the spread of disease, right? But what's in your soap? Pay attention to those things, right? Making your own soap, crazy easy. Just get a container with a foaming topper on it. Fill it up about 3/4 with water, a tablespoon of liquid castile soap, and then we talked about using things like On Guard, right? On Guard is a blend of really high antioxidant plants that will help to kill the germs, right? But then you can scent it with things like cinnamon, or, Tara's talking here about using the Harvest Blend, right? The new Harvest Blend smells so good. Like, you can scent it that way, right? But, DIY some of the things that you're going to use on yourself to clean yourself, as well as the products that you use in order to clean your home. And back to the basics, right? You shouldn't have to wear a hazmat suit to clean your house. Take a spray bottle, and if you're storing your oils, you want to keep them in a glass bottle, right? So you can either buy them online, Amazon, or you can take I've seen at the dollar store aluminum ones, or you can get a glass Perrier bottle, right, in your old spray topper off your old container. Fill it like say 2 cups of water to a 1/4 cup of vinegar, and then about 30 drops of I like to use lemon and On Guard. That's it. Maybe some wild orange if I want to switch it up a bit. But really mixing them all together, that's what I clean my floors with. That's what I clean the glass in our house with. It's crazy how it doesn't streak. And when my kids want to help with cleaning, it's a great way to do it. So, but again, I can have them cleaning without having them also just getting chemicals all over them, right? And again, it's like 1/10 of the cost. Water and vinegar. How basic is that, right? But I love to use like wild orange or like lemon, because then it cuts the smell of the vinegar. I don't need my house smelling like a pickle factory either. But I guess there's a diffuser blend for that, right? Or you could even make your own room sprays, right? Like, I remember buying like Febreze because I wanted the house to smell fresh, but then I would be like, don't go in that room. For however long until it had settled, right? Now I just make my own sprays, right? And there's holiday sprays that you can make as well. So if you take even 15 drops of frankincense, 15 drops of grapefruit, and about 30 drops of Siberian fir, put it in a glass bottle, and like just fill it 3/4 full with water, and then obviously put those in there, and just shake it and start spraying, and it smells so good. Or if you have a fake Christmas tree and want it to smell like a real Christmas tree, do that. Spray your Christmas tree with it. Even put, whether it's Siberian fir or just any of your firs, really. Frankincense is obviously a tree too. And it smells really delicious. And you've got your room spray, and you're not breathing in all the chemicals that are then, getting into your lungs and into your system, right? But really, if you have a diffuser, there's not necessarily a need for a room spray, unless you want to spray a room or like hockey equipment. We're in hockey season, right? Guys, On Guard is like a crazy disinfectant, right? And kills bacteria. And tea tree oil, right? So if you make a spray, and if any of my hockey moms are watching right now, if there's an awesome spray, I'm not a hockey mom, but I know a lot of my friends that are hockey moms that are using, get their kids' equipment out and just make a spray that they spray it down. Because if you're killing the bacteria caused with sweat, that's what creates the smell, right? The hockey smell. I remember playing broomball in high school for it was a tournament. I didn't play broom ball, but borrowing one of my friend's hockey equipment and having to wear it. I wish I had that spray, but I'm pretty sure it's On Guard Tea Tree Lemon. Sounds about right. And you can completely do it. But the idea is not surrounding yourself by chemicals so that your body's constantly guessing, right? If you can boost your immune system without having your body guessing with everything, right? And, you know, although the holidays is an awesome time of year for just, you know, love and fun and being with family, for some it's stressful, right? And stress weakens our immune system, okay? Lack of sleep lessens our immune system. Sugar lessens our immune system. And I pretty much named the 3 things that are highest this time of year, right? So, you know, luckily there's oils that can help you boost your immune system, help control stress, and different things that you can, you know, cook with so that you're not using so much sugars in your food as well. So, you know, keep different, you know, diffuser recipes in mind during the holiday season to help boost your immune system while also help controlling stress. So using things like rosemary, great for even mental stimulation, clove, eucalyptus, cinnamon, wild orange, blends, other oils such as, you know, On Guard, lemon, peppermint, lavender. They all are great for disinfecting the air as you're diffusing it, but also helping you to control your emotions and your stress, right? Using things like aromatherapy jewelry, right? So I have this is the new one, the Ugandan bracelet that doTERRA just had in their holiday line. I love it. It's so stinking cute, but you want ones as long as they have these lava beads on it, right? So here's the lava beads there. I have lava beads, you know, I have my chakra one. I have, you know, just ones that help me remember people, and you know, use these because, you know, and whether you're just applying a roller ball and then rolling the lava beads through it, or whether you're dropping essential oils on the lava beads, but really use these to help control your emotions, especially in those times when you can't necessarily have your diffuser going, right? You know, some other oils that you might want to look at to kind of tackle stress head on. Again, lavender is going to be a key one. Vetiver, ylang ylang, bergamot, Roman chamomile, and again, frankincense. Frankincense is a godsend, literally, when it comes to managing stress. And I really firmly believe, you know, and I talk a lot about this, that our health really stems from the foundation, right? It's what we nourish our bodies with. So nutrition and proper supplementation. Whenever anybody is coming to me with issues, whether it is, you know, immune support, gut health, skin issues, stress, sleep, energy, you know, constipation, diarrhea, whatever's going on in your life, arthritis, pain, right? The number one thing that I recommend to them is the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So the Lifelong Vitality vitamins, it's a trio of vitamins. You've got your cell health, your nutrition supplementation, as well as your omegas, all in a 3-pack. And honestly, guys, it has a 30-day money-back guarantee on it if you find that they don't work. But if you can support your gut from the inside out, this is what is going to help you to thrive, right? It's going to reduce the inflammation within your body. And so you really want to, you know, that might be a good gift for somebody this year, right? That just wants to kind of try it, and you will notice after the month, 100%, if it's not for them. So there's an entire program around it, but even just if you haven't tried the Lifelong Vitality vitamins yet, I highly recommend them. So, you know, we've talked about a lot of goodies. There's a lot of good tips and tricks, and I want to make sure I pop over. Tara mentioned There's a DIY cinnamon ornaments you can make with the oil. Can you post that, Tara? I'd love to see that one. Um, and instead of using dye, you can layer Epsom salts and Himalayan salt to give that candy cane look. That's a great idea. I love that. And there's lots of different things that you can find, right? Get into the bulk barn and just like start seeing things that they have, right? But using dyes is, I mean, something that we're watching in our food, right? We want to try to stay away from those. Absolutely. So I love the idea of layering out the Himalayan salts. Thank you for that, Tara. For those of you that are watching that, you know, you are going, okay, I haven't tried, you know, necessarily those certain oils, and you want to hook yourself up. We just had BOGO, and I'm sure you hooked yourself up huge with a ton of really good, awesome oils. This month, if you already have, even if whether you have your wholesale account or not, you can get yourself a free frankincense. So frankincense is normally like $110 for a bottle. And hi, my hubby's just getting home. It wouldn't be a class if Eddie didn't start barking during the class. And so if you don't have your wholesale account yet, you can hook yourself up. It's $42. Really awesome way to get started. You would get 25% off. And again, if you're looking for a gift, what an awesome gift to hook somebody up with their own wholesale account, right? So if that is something you are wanting to do, or if you're wanting to get yourself a free frankincense, when you either put in a 200-point loyalty rewards order, or when you put in an enrollment order of 200 points. So if you're wanting maybe some of the holiday items, maybe because, you know, any of the ones that are still available, or if you're wanting to get some of these oils that we've talked about to support, whether it's your immune system or cleaning or whatever, right? Then you can get those when you spend 200 points, you'll get a free frankincense. And again, when that frankincense comes in, don't just let it sit in your cabinet. I'm going to do an entire, I'm dedicating myself to posts on frankincense this month for a number of different reasons. But I mean, it's one that I definitely talk about all year round, right? It's a staple for sure. But you know, if you haven't hooked yourself up with a wholesale account yet, message me. It takes a couple minutes. We'll get you hooked up with one. If you already have one, you know, look at how you can, you know, space out even ordering your oils and get through that loyalty rewards program, right? So the loyalty rewards program is the points program, and really maximize the amount of free stuff that you can get, right? You know, and for me, I know before I started in this lifestyle, I didn't know what I didn't know, right? And my life has changed just dramatically since incorporating these tools into my life, right? And for me, it started with essential oils, which is why I have such a passion for them and I love educating on them. But then once you start looking at, you know, whether you are looking to reduce your toxic load, you know, maybe you get hooked up with essential oils because, you know, you want to make over your medicine cabinet. I know that was mine. Maybe it is, you know, you want to make over your cleaning bucket, or maybe it is you want to not have candles and sprays in your house anymore and you want to get that diffuser and get those going. Whatever your reason is, you'll find you'll start here and then you can't help it. You can't help it. You will naturally start going, oh my gosh, okay, well, I can't just make over my cleaning bucket and then have these candles going or plugins, right? Or I can't just get rid of those and not get rid of this. And you will, and it'll take time, but you will eventually get to a point where, you know, you've hooked yourself up with just absolute health in your home. So, you know, I want to thank you for joining me today. I know there's a lot of goodies in here, so feel free if you want me to post any of the recipes, whether it's the diffuser blends or the cooking recipes that I talked about. I will absolutely post them as well. But know that you know, this time of year doesn't have to be stressful, right? You can absolutely just thrive with using these in your life. So thank you so much for joining, and I am happy to serve anytime. Stay in touch and happy holidays. See you next week.